Hi, I'm on vacation. I'm kidding. No. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That. My name is Gabriela. If you're new here, if you're coming back, welcome back. We have a guest speaker today that I was not anticipating, but I'm with my sister.
Hi,
What's your name?
I'm Maria.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
16. Okay. So we're getting the full on teenager advice from an actual teenager and then from someone who went through it. If you're new here, we talk about 6 categories: body, soul, mind, adulting, school, and relationships. And today we're going to talk about the body category. And if you're new here, I've talked about this before. I struggled a lot growing up and as a teenager with my body dysmorphia, eating disorders. She has not experienced any of that. She's very blessed to not have experienced any of that. So you're going to get both sides of the story today. And because we're on vacation, we've been wearing a hell ton of bathing suits and bikinis, very small bikinis. That is something that I would have not done 2 years ago, ever. I was only going to wear a one piece and maybe like max, because you could still see my legs. But now I have a really good relationship with my body, and through the episodes, we're going to talk about more pieces of advice and all the things that have helped me get to the really good relationship that I have now. But I wanted to tell you guys this one thing that helped me so much. And then Maria is going to tell you guys just advice to how she's never had an issue, and not never had an issue with her body, because obviously we've all been at some point insecure or felt not the best, but how she's not let it affect you so much, I guess, and how you've not paid so much attention and let the world kind of dictate her body and her thoughts about it. So let's get into it, and I'm very excited that you're here, so thank you for doing this. It's 11 p.m. too. No, midnight, something like that. So I want to start off with you, just because not everyone has gone through body dysmorphia and eating disorders. So let's start with just general, for any girl and any age. Let's talk about you. Woo!
Good morning. Can you talk? I really need coffee. I'm so stressed. I was up studying. I'm gonna be late to class. I'll call you later. I just want to be lazy right now. I should probably go to the gym. I'm hungry. Want to hang out? I don't know anyone going tonight. I'm kind of freaking out. Does this look good? It's gonna be so much fun though. I can't wait. And yeah, that's what I would do. Just don't quote me on that.
So just tell us about your relationship with your body now and how it's been for the past couple of years, because she's 16. So take it back to when you were 12 and up until now.
So right now I have a good relationship with my body because obviously I've grown up, I've experienced a lot of things, being around people, social media. I have a broader concept of what it is to love your body and to maybe sometimes not love your body. And taking it back, I went to boarding school, and in boarding school and college in general, you tend to gain weight because you're not at home, so you're snacking, you're eating different things.
Freshman 15!
And you don't have that settled and that good relationship with food, just because of your unhealthy habits that you create. You don't have that much time to eat, so you're not eating at the right times and so on. There's so many things that add on to that. So I remember freshman year, I did gain a lot of weight in boarding school. So that was a big change for me, but that was never something that put me down in a different way than before. Sure, I did notice my body a lot more because of it, but it was not something that I was ashamed of or felt bad about. It was something that I wanted to eventually improve, but it was my biggest priority. And I did get there, coming back home from boarding school, I was able to achieve that again. And not even because I went to the gym and I killed myself at it. No, just off of becoming conscious of what I was eating again, and having that set and balanced meals that definitely helped a lot. So kind of just seeing that process and the progress did change me and my relationship with my body and the way I looked at it. And not necessarily for the better or for the worse, it just was different. So that different stage of my life, I feel you need to learn how to accept yourself through every stage. And sometimes you'll be skinnier, sometimes you'll look chubbier, sometimes you'll gain more weight or not want to not look the way you want to look. But that should never be a factor to put you down necessarily. It's just you look different. Just same way that maybe like 2 years ago you had shorter hair or longer hair. That doesn't mean that you looked bad when you had it. That just means you look different, and that's okay. Looking different, having your body change at your different chapters and stages of life is something normal and natural, and something that is gonna happen. I bet you $100 that I'm not gonna look the same way I look right now when I'm 20 or when I'm 30 and have kids. My body is gonna change, because that's what happens to your body throughout life, and you need to be okay with that, because you need to be aware that that is gonna happen to your body. And the moment that you start like realizing that, and the moment that you're like, okay, like this is what's gonna happen to my body, and this is how I'm gonna look like, you're gonna be able to accept that, and to just like realize, and to like also like expect it, you know? Because I feel like if you're not expecting things in life and they just kind of happen, you're like, whoa,
Shock.
you know? But if you just like anticipate the fact that your body is gonna look different at a certain point, it's not gonna bother you as much, you know? And obviously, like, there's like puberty for girls, and your body changes a lot through that, you know? Like for some girls, like your hips get bigger, you get curvier, you get boobs. Like obviously like your boobs like make you look bigger, you know? So just kind of like accepting that is also like a challenge for a lot of people, because again, you look different. But if you learn that you're gonna look different and you are constantly waiting for that, you're gonna be okay with it.
Okay, that's it. We can go home. Like, she just spit out all the facts. That's it. The episode's done, guys. You're 16? Imagine if I would have had that mindset at 16. I would be Kendall Jenner. I'd be a Victoria's Secret supermodel. No, but you're right. And it's a matter of just, this is it, right? Like, that's it. That's what you got, and this is what I got. And we come from the same parents, and we have very different bodies. Like, our body structures, ever since we were kids, they've been completely different. And I feel like neither of us could have expected me to have your body or you to have my body, and we're sisters, and we had different bodies. I had a very different process growing up. My body changed in ways that your body didn't change. I feel like that's good, like accepting it. But okay, you accepted, that's it. This is my body. Like, this is what I'm working with. My body is going to change. Sometimes I'm going to look like this. Sometimes I'm going to look like that. So you accepted it. But what do you do when you get to a point where you're like, okay, my body doesn't look the way I want it to look? Because for me, and we were talking about this, and because of like, I don't know, my head, I guess, whenever I got there to the I don't like my body, I would go out of my way and do the inhumane, unhealthy things to get to where I wanted. It became an obsession of, I need to fix it. Like, I cannot stay like this. So whenever you got to that point, like at boarding school, when you gained a couple of pounds, how are you okay with that? I wasn't okay with it. I cried about it. I went to the gym. I developed eating disorders. Like, I obsessed over changing it. You were like, sure, I gained a bunch of weight. I don't feel good. But you never obsessed over, let me like change it so bad. How did you not get there? Like, how are you like okay with, okay, I'm a couple of pounds heavier, but like I'm okay with that. And in today's world and society where we have social media, boys who nowadays like judge our bodies on a scale from 1 to 10, like psychopaths. I'm not kidding. Like, I feel like the first time I heard that, it was like, body is 6, but face a 10. I was like, that's the scale. There's 2. There's for the body, there's for the face. Hello. So that was so psycho of me for me. I was like, oh, it's scary. So with that, with boys, with social media, she lives in Miami. Keep that in mind, where there's girls who are like, how are you okay with it?
Well, first of all, it wasn't gonna last forever, you know? Like, I was like, okay, I'm in boarding school, I gained a bunch of weight, this is the way I look like right now. Again, when I'm 20, I bet you that I'm not gonna look like this anymore. Like, I'm not gonna have the same exact body. Whether that was, I'm gonna keep gaining weight and eventually, like, be like a meatball that rolls everywhere, or I'm gonna become Kendall Jenner, you know? I was like, it's gonna change. And there's like the good and the bad of everything. Like, for example, for me, like when I gained a bunch of weight, all of a sudden, like my butt was a lot bigger, my boobs were a lot bigger. I was like, damn, like,
Hell yeah.
I was like, I may have a little extra weight on me, but there's some things going for me. There's some things that are going for me. No, exactly. I was like, damn, like maybe I'll lose weight here, but like maybe not here, you know? So there's like, I learned to like look at the good things and be like, you know, like maybe my tummy isn't looking so good, but like that dump truck over there, that be looking good though, you know? So it's like you have to learn how to like look at yourself in the mirror and like admire the good things. Be like, I like that. I like what I see there, you know? Like it's not just all negative, you know? Like you need to start like focusing on the good things about your body and not just the bad things. Like instead of like if you think about it, when you look at a friend, you just start pinpointing out everything that's wrong with them. No, you focus on the good. You're like, oh my God, like I love her hair. I love the way that like whatever, like her eyes, or she has such a pretty waist. You know what I mean? Like you don't start going, oh my God, but like she has cellulite there. Like that doesn't look too right to me. You know, like you need to start being your own friend and looking yourself in the mirror and like hyping yourself up, like genuinely. And it's like also like with the social media and boys and whatever, like boys, like okay, like you tell me you're like I'm a 5, like I'm a 10 in my brain, and that's all that I care about, you know? Like I'm a 5 on your scale. Like what is your scale to me though? Like why do I care that much? You know, it's like boys, like don't even get me started with boys. Don't even get me started, because we're gonna be here all night. And the social media, like there's a difference between comparing yourself and admiring other people, you know? Like social media, I would look at somebody's social media and I'd be like, damn, like her body's amazing. That doesn't mean I want it. That doesn't mean I need to have it. And I was telling Gabby this before. I was like, how many times like girls and like guys too, like guys, like you'll see a car and be like, damn, like that's a nice car. Does that mean that you're gonna get up the next day and like go find $1 million to spend on the car? No, like you just admired the car for a solid 10 seconds and you move on with your life. Same things go with a girl, like on a different scale. But like if you look at a dress on a girl and you're like, oh my God, like that dress looks so good on her, that doesn't mean you're gonna go to the store and like get it. Like sometimes yeah, but like other times like that just looks good on her, you know? And if I look at a body and I'm like, she looks so good, that doesn't mean that my body needs to look the same way for me to look good. I look good in a different way, but I still look good. That doesn't take away from the fact that I look lesser than, or that I'm not pretty enough. No. So it's like you also need to balance out comparison and just admiration. If you're able to admire that and not be like, oh, but like if only I looked like that, if only my body sat the same way that her body sat. That's not your body. Your body's never gonna look like that as much as you try, because you're just not them. You don't have their body. So as much as you go to the gym, as much as you try and like whatever, like go on a diet and stop eating and do whatever it is to do it, you might look amazing, but you're never gonna look the same way that that person looks on that Instagram post. It's just not the way it works. And the moment that you start realizing that, and the moment that you can scroll through social media and instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you can feel happy for other people, that's gonna help your relationship with your body.
And that's such a hard thing to do. It's not easy, because trust me, like I see a girl's, like before, I would see a girl's body on Instagram and there was no way that I would just be like, damn, she looks good, but that's it. No, it was like, damn, like I don't have that. But what you're saying is so true. It comes from a place of I was only looking at the things that I was missing and comparing it to the things that I admired in her, versus just, okay, she looks good, but I have all these other good things. And what you're saying like is true. Everybody's body is completely different. Our genetics are different. Our metabolisms are different. There's some people that eat 10,000 pounds of food and they will not gain weight. And then there's some people that breathe and then they're 10 pounds heavier. Everybody's body's different. And I also very heavily agree with you on the fact that when I also gained weight in boarding school, I got a very nice butt, very nice boobs. It was amazing, except same thing. I hate my stomach. My stomach has always been my biggest insecurity. So that's why I felt really bad, because I was like, my stomach doesn't look good. I was focused on the one thing that didn't look good, even though I was really happy with my boobs and my butt and then I lost weight, my boobs went away, and I got a boob job because I really wanted the boobs back. They looked really good when I got them. So that's true. Like, I had never looked at it that way of like, okay, my stomach isn't fire, but I have all these other good things going for me. Like, be your own hype man and like be your own like root for yourself. Don't just look at yourself in the mirror and pinpoint every single thing that's awful about yourself. That's so true. Why did we not have this conversation when I was 14? It would have saved me so much time. No, but that's awesome. I love that. Damn. I feel like my face, like half of the time, like just listening to you was like, whoa, okay. And then I want you to like help me work through this, but the piece of advice that I wanted to tell you guys that helped me so much is I stopped paying so much attention to my body. Before, I would wake up every single morning, look at myself in the mirror, look at my stomach again, because that was always my biggest insecurity. Look at it from every single angle to like know where it was, and then I would go straight to the scale, weigh myself, write it down every single day to know like how much weight I was losing or gaining. It became an obsession, and I feel like the reason it became an obsession was because I was paying so much attention to it. If you're new here, but if you're coming back also, don't forget to check out somethingstupidandfun.com. And somethingstupidandfun.com is the website where we have the blog and where we have the podcast and the girls on the website, the Something Stupid and Fun girls. One of the girls, her name is Emmy. And Emmy, if you don't follow her, go follow her on Insta. I'll write it down below. But this is an Instagram post that came out a while ago, and when I read it, I was like, yes, like, wow, like this is so true. And it's from a quote from Jeff Warren. And Jeff Warren's quote is, what we pay attention to becomes our life. And then what Emmy wrote, she has a whole thing of like heart to heart from Emmy. Please go check it out. She gives amazing advice. But what Emmy wrote was, tell me what you pay attention to, and I'll tell you who you'll be. And I think that is so true, because what we focus and what we put our attention to is what we're going to spend our time doing, is what we're going to spend our energy in. Like, if you're paying so much attention to your grades, all you're going to do all day is study and work for it. So what you're focused on, that's what your life becomes. Paying so much attention to it. And I feel like the second I stopped looking at myself in the mirror, not because I didn't want to see my body. I look at myself now every day. But when I stopped just focusing so much on my body, giving it so much importance, it was like, it's just there. Like, it's just there. And we were talking about this, how there's a point in every single girl's life, every single girl's, I don't care who you are. It's happened to every single girl. I don't know when it happens. It happens at a different age for every girl, but it always happens. The moment where you go from being a little kid and running around, this is my body, and you not paying attention to it, you don't care, you're not even thinking of it. Like, it's just the thing you live in, the place where your soul resides. There's a moment where that changes and you pay attention to it. You become self-conscious of it, and not self-conscious in the feeling bad about it, self-conscious in the I'm aware of my body, I'm aware of my features. And that can happen because of many things, because of boys talking about it, girls start talking about their bodies and comparing themselves to each other, social media, whatever it is. But it happens to all of us. The moment where we go from being a little kid who didn't pay attention to their body to being this conscious teenager who is paying attention to their body. It happens to all of us. And that's why I think that was something that helped me so much. Going back to when I was 5 years old and I did not care about my body and I was not looking at it and I was not weighing myself. Again, not because you don't want to weigh yourself and because you don't want to look at yourself because you're like ashamed of it or something. No, just because what you pay attention to is what's going to dictate your life. And it's going to become the thing that you care a lot about. And there's a very, very thin line. It's very easy to cross it. Trust me, from experience. Very easy to cross that line from I really want to change my body and go to the gym and eat healthy, to I am willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And whatever it takes means not eating, making yourself throw up, whatever it is. That is a very thin line to cross. Very thin. You cross it like that. Like I said this in a previous episode, it's not meant to be an advertisement. Your body is not, it wasn't made so that it would look good on an Instagram post. It was made for you to breathe. It was made for you to have arms and legs, and you have your stomach because you need to eat, and you have your lungs because you need to breathe, and your heart to have feelings, your brain to think. Every part is there for a reason. When did I ever mention that the reason your body is there is for you to post it or for other people to talk about it? First of all, nobody should be talking about your body because it's nobody's business to talk about your body. And if anyone ever like talks to you about your body, like, oh, you've gained a little weight, like, do you not have anything better to do with your life than to pay attention to my body? It's mine. Like, go focus on yours, Sally. Like, why are you focused on my body? So when other people start paying so much attention to our bodies, which happens because boys start talking about our bodies and social media, when other people start paying attention to our body, that's when we're like, I need to pay attention to it. And that's the moment that we become self-conscious of, okay, maybe I got a little cellulite over here, or like maybe I got a little bit of stretch marks. I have a lot of stretch marks and a lot of cellulite, and that's something that I've never cared about. When have you ever heard me talk about like, oh my god, I have cellulite, I need to fix it, oh, my stretch marks? I've never cared about that because I've never paid attention to it, because it was just like, it's there, like, who cares? I never gave it the importance. My stomach, on the other hand, that I looked at every single day, and I like turned sideways, and if I would see a little bump on my stomach, which, by the way, every single woman has a bump in their stomach because we have this little thing, that's our belly pouch where we're supposed to carry babies. So we all have that little pouch. Like, I don't care who you are, we all have that little pouch. I wanted to get rid of that pouch, which is like humanly impossible. But obviously, whenever I was looking at girls, I wasn't paying attention to their butts. I wasn't paying attention to their arms and their thighs and their cellulite. I was looking at their stomach because that was my insecurity. That's what I was paying attention to. So what you pay attention to becomes your life. It will dictate the way you rule your life. So don't pay attention to it. I don't know how else to say it, basically. I don't know how else to say it. And same thing goes like backwards. There was probably another girl who was, I don't know, insecure about her butt and looked at my butt and was like, holy crap, like, I want that butt. So it's a cycle of we are paying attention to the things that we lack. So going back to your point, if you're going to pay attention to anything, let it be all those really good things that you have going on for you, because you do have beautiful things. You are a beautiful person. And if you don't see them, like, we'll help you see them because they're there. Just because you don't think they're there doesn't mean that they're not there. It just means you're not paying attention to them yet. You're paying attention to the things that you don't like. Start paying attention to the things that you do have going on for you. You had your butt and boobs going on for you. And you did that. You were paying attention to the good things. You were like, you were feeling yourself. I, on the other hand, same thing. I got the butt, I got the boobs, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I was paying attention to the one thing that I didn't like, which was my stomach. So the same thing happened to our bodies. Basically, the same thing happened to our bodies. It was just a matter of what you gave attention and importance to versus what I gave attention and importance to.
I also want to say that one picture doesn't determine what you look like. Like, there's so many pictures that I've looked at of myself and I'm like, damn, like, I don't even look like that. Like, what? Like, you know, like, you look so different every single picture. So just because your belly and your arm or your butt or whatever it is looked a little tiny bigger on one picture, that doesn't mean that you look like that. Like, that doesn't mean that, oh my god, like, my arm, like, looks so big, like, I'm so fat. Like, no, it's just the angle. It's just a bad picture. Delete it off your phone. Just delete it. Like, ignore it. There's gonna be another picture that you're like, whoa, that looks good in there. You know what I mean? But it's just like, there's so many times that like I've looked at a picture of myself and I'm just like, whoa, like I looked like that, like ew, you know? But it's like what? Like, it's so stupid to think that you're putting that much like significance and importance just because of one freaking picture on your phone. Like, just delete it. It's not that difficult, you know? Like, it's fine. Also, I would like to say that confidence is key. And like, I know we've heard this so many times and you're like, okay, but like, how do I get it, you know? And like, I feel like we've like discussed like enough topics as to like how to get the confidence, but it's like,
Excuse me, disgust? Disgust?
discuss.
No, more like me asking my 3-year younger than me sister how to become confident. Not disgust, more like Jeopardy.
But, you know, like, confidence is key, like, as cliche as it sounds. Like, I bet you that you guys could relate to this. Like, there's so many times where I've seen such a pretty girl that I'm like, holy crap, like, you're literally beautiful. And they're just kind of like that and like looking down and like kind of like grabbing themselves. And I'm just like, you don't look that pretty anymore, you know? And then there's this girl that I would have probably not turned around twice to look at that walks in and is like owning the place and like you can tell that they know that they're beautiful and that they look beautiful. And off the bat, just because of the way they're acting, I'm like, whoa, like I hadn't seen you before, but like now I want to look at you all night, you know, because what you reflect is what other people are going to see in you, you know, and the way that you portray yourself, that's what other people are going to get from you. So if you just like radiate that confidence and that like I'm beautiful and I know it, people are going to see you for that. Doesn't matter what you actually look like. It matters the way that you're portraying yourself, because that's what people are going to grasp onto. People feed off of each other's energy. And if that's the energy that you're giving off, the energy of I know my place, I know what I look like, and I know that I am pretty enough for anybody in this room, that's what other people are going to perceive you as. So if you're able to just make a little extra effort to, I don't know, have better posture, walk around smiling all the time, you know, and being like, whoa, like I look good, like let me look good for this picture, let me post, let me smile, not just hide in the back. People are gonna know that, and people are gonna be like, whoa, like she looks good, like damn right she looks good, and I know she knows that. Yeah. Keep that in mind. Go to a party, and like I saw like a stupid TikTok one time, but it like really like stayed in the back of my head. It was like I think my outfit's ugly. Too bad, so sad. You can't go home and change it now, so you better rock the outfit that you have and go put a smile on your face and be like just fake it till you make it. Like, even if you don't like your outfit, there's no going back now. You might as well just make it look good by the way that you're acting. So if you're able to do that, like, people are gonna notice that, and that's what matters. Just instead of like trying to change yourself or trying to go to the gym, like the short-term things that you can do are gonna help your confidence a lot, just because of the way that people are gonna interact with you.
No, that's so true, because I remember one time I went to the gym with my dad and I was that girl, like the girl who like walked into a room with her shoulders like this, head down, wouldn't say anything, in the back of the corner, like that, you know, like super like meh. And I remember my dad had this conversation with me, like seriously, he was like, if you walk into a place like this, like no one is going to look at you twice, and you are not giving that like energy. Versus like if you stand up tall, he literally told me, he like grabbed my shoulders and like flipped them back. He was like, it's all in the matter of like the attitude in which you present yourself. And I do this all the time, like walking around campus. I'm a very socially anxious person, and I hate walking into the library because everybody like stares at you and looks at you. So I know that they're going to look at me anyways when you like walk in. So at the beginning, I used to walk in like this, like super like shrugged and like trying to like avoid things. Now I'm freaking out, but I'm like, I'm not going to let them see that. Like, I'm going to fake it till I make it, literally. Like, be as like cocky and full of myself as I can, even if I don't feel like that. take a deep breath right before walking into the library, put my chin up, shoulders back. I walk in straight into the library, walking like that. And then a lot of people have told me, like, you look very confident now when you're walking into a place. Like, you look like such a confident person. I am not. Like, inside, like, walking, I'm like, please let this be over. I hope nobody's looking at me. Please, oh my God, 5 more steps. I'm gonna make it to the stairs. Like, I'm still freaking out. I'm still, like, a little bit anxious, a little bit self-conscious. But at least I know that I know that I need to project this, like, confident version of myself, because when you do, you, like, exactly, you look a little bit brighter. And that goes back to what you were saying of be your own hype man. Like, literally just, like, in your head, like, hype yourself up if you're feeling insecure. If you're at a party and you're feeling anxious, hype yourself up. I'm a great person. I look good. My outfit's fire. My makeup is good. Like, I deserve to be here. I have a lot of friends. Like, I'm having a good time. Hype yourself up and be your own friend. And so I feel like, in conclusion, like, one, like, what you pay attention to becomes your life. So be careful with what you pay attention to. Like, what are you paying attention to? The bad things that you don't like, or everything else that you do have going for you? And trust me, even if you think that one part of your body isn't good, there's another girl looking at it and admiring it. Remind yourself that of someone else is looking at me same way that I'm looking at another person. But what are you looking at? What are you paying attention to? What are you giving so much importance to? So that's, like, the first thing. And then the second thing of, like, the biggest thing we're saying, be your own hype man. Hype yourself up. Know that your body is going to change and be okay with it. If your friend told you, exactly, I'm gaining a couple of pounds, I don't feel so good, what would you tell them? You wouldn't be like, yeah, girl, you got to go to the gym. That ass don't be looking that good. You wouldn't say that. You would be like, are you kidding me? Like, yes, maybe, but you look amazing. Like, you still look beautiful. And they're not lying to you. Like, you're not lying to your friend. Like, you genuinely think that they look amazing. So next time that you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, my body, I don't like it, what would you say to a friend?
And also, like, I have noticed this, like, in myself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, like, obviously, like, there's times where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, are like, what is going on? Like, why do I look like that? Like, what is going on with my outfit? What's going on with my hair? Why does my body look like that? Oh my God. And then there's times where you're like, damn, like, slay the day I look good, you know? And I've noticed that right after those, like, 5 seconds of me, like, staring at myself in the mirror and, like, telling myself whether I look good or I look bad, that has such an impact on my attitude for the rest of the day.
100%.
Like, if I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, holy crap, I look horrible, I will go on about my day feeling horrible and having in the back of my head that I look horrible. But if I looked at myself in the mirror and I was able to tell myself that I look really good, I'm going to feel really good for the rest of my day. So just keep that in mind when you talk to yourself in the mirror. Like, talk to yourself as if you were talking to a friend. Because if you tell somebody at the beginning of the day, as soon as they walk into the door, school, work, whatever, and you tell them, oh my God, you look so bad today. Like, how do you think that person's gonna feel? Obviously, they're gonna feel horrible. If somebody walks in and you tell them, oh my God, you look so pretty today, they're gonna be like, wow, like, you made my day. You know what I mean? And they're gonna feel like the best freaking and most beautiful person ever for the rest of the day. So don't talk yourself like you're your worst enemy. Talk to yourself like you're your own friend. And like you're looking at a friend in a mirror and not looking at this person that you hate and that you constantly want to change 24/7 for no reason. Like, you should be your biggest friend. You should be your own hype man. Because that does affect you a lot psychologically. So you go from the physical part of your body to the mental aspect of your body. So it's like that those two things correlate a lot. Those two things have a big relationship on your attitude, on the way that you go on about your day and your life in general. So you need to change that too.
Change your mindset and change the things you pay attention to. Change the way you talk to yourself and change what you're so focused on. Mic drop. Damn. Well, I feel like we just gave you guys a whole bunch of things to digest. So take your time with it. Sit back with it.
Sink in.
Let it sink in. We're gonna go to bed because we have to wake up super early tomorrow. Please keep enjoying the rest of the vlog. The rest of the vlog is gonna be the rest of the trip. And really, thank you for spitting fact. I feel like I needed to hear a lot of those things because, like I said, I have a good relationship with my body now, but it's an everyday work that we need to do because my body will change at one point again, and I'm bound to feel bad about it again. So it's good for me to be aware of these things. It's good for you to be aware of these things. And I'm glad that we could just share them with you guys from, again, someone who's 16, someone who's 20, someone who did struggle a lot with their body, someone who's managed to stay afloat in this crazy society of body images that there's like an ideal body, which is still so stupid because the ideal body changes every 5 days.
So stupid.
Like one day it's the big butt and the big boobs, and then now it's like let's be super skinny.
Let's look like a twig.
Exactly. And then in 4 months it's gonna be like, no, now we all want to have big bellies. If that ever becomes the ideal body standard, I will be so pissed because I've tried my entire life to not have that. I will be so pissed.
You'd be like, guys, it's my time to shine now. Like, I've been waiting for this one.
I've been waiting for this one. So it's gonna change, and we're not gonna be able to fit every single stupid body standard. We'll talk about the ideal body standard in another episode because I can go on about it for hours, but I feel like we've been talking about it for too long now.
No, but like, you can't base your body image on a freaking...
I said goodbye 5 minutes ago and we're still talking. Okay, keep going.
You can't base it off of a like beauty standard because like the amount of girls that now I see, like for example, being like, oh my god, like I want lip injections. I'm like, sure, me too. They be looking pretty good though. But at the end of the day, that's just temporary trend. Like you can't base your body and like your stereotype of what is pretty just because of a thing that's gonna go on for like 6 months. You know what I mean? Like you can't change that. And like the stereotype and like the beauty standard as well, like I told Gabby this, okay, like I'm not gonna get too into detail just in case of the people that are watching this, but anyway, for example, like a guy once told me, he was like, oh, like I'm not gonna say specifically, but like, oh, like this thing about your body, like you could like do that differently, like you could like fix it, like you could make it better. And I just looked at him. I told you who. And I just looked at him and I was like, go find yourself another girl with that then. Go find yourself another girl with that. And he just like kind of like didn't know what to say after that. And I was like, what makes you think that you can tell me like, oh, like you would be prettier if you had this? Then go find the girl that has that because I have so many other things to offer. So it's like, I don't need that just to be pretty enough for you. And you are who to me? You know what I mean? So it's like, don't base yourself off of what other people are expecting of you. Base yourself off of what you want from your body, what you want off of yourself, and what you think is pretty. Not what everybody else is like, oh, like, you would be prettier if you had that, though.
Yeah.
Like, screw that. Like, who do you think you are at the end of the day, you know?
Exactly. Like, what even is the ideal body standard? Who set it in place? Who is it? Is it Kris Jenner? Is it the president? Like, Oprah Winfrey? Like, who's setting it in place? I really want to know who decides to change it every 6 months, because it does change. It's been changing my entire life. So who sets it in place? And can we all come after you? And you know, like, yeah, I don't know who set that in place, but they're whack.
But they're changing every day, guys, so don't worry.
Exactly. So what she's saying is true. You can't base it off of that standard, because if it changes every 6 months, it's not ideal.
Your body's going to be changing every 6 months, too. How are you going to do that?
You can't. You can't sustain your body like that. Again, our bodies were not meant to be and look like this one thing, because everybody's body is different. Everyone's genetics is different. Everyone's like, oh my God, like, why can't we just understand this as a society and get rid of standards and get rid of this, like, we need to look a certain way? No, we don't. No, we don't. You weren't supposed to look at my body and pay attention to it and decide on a scale from 1 to 10 how my face and body looked compared to another girl's. That was not what it was made for. But society, unfortunately, got here. It got here, and it pisses me off so much because it hurts so many girls. So many girls to have this, like, I want to look like that. No! No, you want to look like what? What? Who said that that's the ideal? Like, who? Who?
You sound like an owl. But like also don't contribute to that. Like don't glorify that. Because if you yourself are trying to achieve that, like you're also contributing to the beauty standard and to that like stereotype, you know? Because if you're going to extra mile to change your body for that, you're still establishing that and helping put that in place. Because if there's this trend and nobody like goes through with it and nobody like goes and buys the thing that everybody's advertising, they're gonna change it pretty quick, you know? So it's like if somebody just like sets a beauty standard in place and nobody pays attention to it because people know better than that, it's gonna go away real soon.
100%. I got my boobs done because I've always wanted to change my boobs. And like I've always wanted like bigger boobs, you know, rounder, a little bit more like uplifted, whatever. You guys don't need all the details about what my boobs look like. But I didn't change them because it was a trend. I didn't get massive boob implants because that's what is on trend right now. Because guess what? Once upon a time, very big boobs were in, and now being super flat chested is in. So what am I gonna do? Insert, exert implants back and forth, change the size of my implants because I'm gonna fit the standard every 6 months? No. I picked one implant because that's what I wanted. I want to look like that, and I'm going to keep it like that. For me, myself, and I. Like, be selfish. Be cocky. Be freaking full of yourself. Literally. Like, I look good. And I'm going to do things for moi. Moi, myself, and nobody else. That's it. Nobody else. You have anything else to say, or are we done ranting? Because I feel like we're pissed at this point. I could go fight someone. The person that set the beauty standards in place. Anything else? Are you done? Done. Now we're done. So, in conclusion, now you guys have more things to think about than when I said you guys had more things to think about because we can't keep our mouths shut and we have to keep talking. What are you paying attention to? Be your own hype man. Don't change your body based on beauty standards because those are temporary. Admire rather than comparing. Confidence is key. Fake it till you make it. And yeah, honestly, you guys listen to the episode, so take notes and pay attention to. Okay, well, we slowly got into the covers. We're slowly getting into time. We're slowly getting into the covers. Okay, we're gonna go to bed. Enjoy the rest of the vlog. I will see you guys next Sunday. Mwah!
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.